Victorian literature kept locking women up. The women learned to haunt back. That's the arc of the Gothic woman. She starts as the trembling heroine and ends the century as a threat the culture can't control. Today, we're tracing that transformation, from the persecuted girl in a castle corridor, to the madwoman in the attic, to the vampire at your window, to Salomé demanding a prophet's head. It's the clearest map we have of 19th century panic over female desire and intelligence. Quick context: early Gothic, think Ann Radcliffe, gives us virtuous young women tormented by shadows and secret villains. Castles, corridors, a sense of the supernatural that usually gets explained as perfectly natural in the end. Charlotte Brontë inherits that setup and twists it inward. The terror turns psychological, the ghosts feel personal, and the locked doors belong to domestic life, not just medieval ruins. Jane Eyre first. Thornfield Hall looks like a Radcliffe castle, but the real dungeon is the attic. Rochester has a wife hidden up there, Bertha Mason, the boast of Spanish Town, a Creole heiress described as exotic, violent, and conveniently voiceless because he narrates her story for her. We never hear Bertha speak for herself. Critics call this the madwoman in the attic because it lays out how patriarchal power decides who gets labeled mad and who gets to define reality. Even Jane's own childhood terror is pure Gothic. In the Red Room she cries, "I saw a light, and I thought a ghost would come." The novel keeps flirting with the supernatural, the eerie laugh in the halls, prophetic dreams, and then rationalizes it. That's Radcliffe's legacy filtered through Brontë. Fear explained, but not dismissed, because the social horror remains. Two people under one roof, two moral codes. Guess who gets punished? Brontë doubles down in Villette. Lucy Snow is a plain English teacher adrift in a continental school, alone and constantly watched. She keeps seeing a ghostly nun gliding through dormitories. Is it a haunting? Is it a prank? The novel plays both sides. What matters is Lucy's isolation. Her interior monologue crackles with suppressed feeling, spiritual intensity, and those sudden lyric eruptions that feel like lightning in a locked room. She isn't a femme fatale. She's the older Gothic type, the woman hemmed in by rules, fearful and lucid at once. The threat isn't a vampire. It's the world telling her to be grateful for silence. So what changed by mid-century? The streets changed. Women start pushing for education, property rights, and control over their own bodies. The fiction reacts. Anxiety turns the lock and out steps the femme fatale. Enter Carmilla in 1872. The narrator, Laura, a sheltered young woman in Styria, meets a mysterious guest who confesses love in hushed tones and then at night feeds. Carmilla isn't a count from Transylvania. She's a beautiful woman with power, appetite, and tenderness all at once. She seduces and she kills. That combination terrified Victorian sensibilities because it exposes the lie that women should be ornamental and obedient. Le Fanu lets the vampire carry a critique. If a woman wants, if she chooses, she's monstrous. The message from the culture is blunt. Female autonomy drains the family of its lifeblood. Notice the metaphor doing overtime. By the 1890s, the Gothic woman strides onto the stage crowned with peacock feathers. Wilde's Salomé doesn't haunt, she commands. She dances, she names her price, and she receives Joconean's severed head. Then she kisses it. The image shocked censors, and for good reason. Salomé radiates desire that refuses apology. She isn't a fallen woman begging forgiveness. She's a force. That's why the fin de siècle locks her in as the archetypal femme fatale. Beautiful, inscrutable, lethal to men who imagine they control the gaze. And here's the through line I want us to keep. The Gothic woman mirrors the century's moral panics. Early on, Bertha and Lucy reveal the fear of female passion and intellect being labeled unstable or mad. Later, Carmilla and Salomé turn that anxiety into spectacle. A woman with agency becomes supernatural evil or scandal incarnate. The figure transgresses social boundaries, refuses conformity, and yes, she never bores. She holds up a mirror and asks, "Who's afraid now?" So, where do you land? Do you side with the silenced rage of Bertha, the ghost-ridden clarity of Lucy, the dangerous tenderness of Carmilla, or the diamond-hard will of Salomé? Drop your pick and your reasoning in the comments. I'm ready for a proper Gothic debate. If you want more 19th century troublemakers, subscribe and bring your lantern. Until next time, keep your candles lit and your prefaces loaded.